Good morning, Mike and Arlen, our Philippine journey. Thank you so much for joining us. Do you, should you, would you, and what do you think about giving your Filipina girlfriend, partner, whatever, an allowance? I think things have changed a little bit about that. Let's talk about it.
Why'd you have to go? I guess this world's too slow for you. I think there's beauty in the gray, the cold, but you just want the gold. And there's no way I can beat it, cause I got no chance when it comes to her. She got the glitter and the fame, and I just wasn't enough.
Okay. Who does this not apply to? And these are all our opinions. There's nothing in stone here. People have their own lives, and that's what makes us unique, and how we choose to do things, well, that's just great. We don't think this applies to people that are in long distance relationships that have yet to even meet this girl. Now, we see it all the time. We've seen people who are in long distance relationships that have never met them and call my Filipina, my fiance, my girlfriend, and you've never met her. Our opinion on that is she just doesn't even mix into the mix. But we don't want to burst your bubble. And you may know exactly what you're doing, and that we're not the ones that should judge or pass judgment. So, but in our opinion, this does not apply. If you want to make it apply, that's great. All right. Let's talk about girlfriends, and then let's talk about live-in. All right. And I say live-in because, we can define that in multiple ways. Girlfriends, if they don't live with you, you should not be giving them any allowance, in our opinion. Not a routine allowance. Can you help? Sure you can. You can do a lot of things. But to better their life is your choice. Does that mean giving them an allowance? What was wrong with their life before you met them? What have they done to improve their life? Dating in the Philippines is not like in the West. Women in the West have jobs. They have careers. I have never met anybody in the West that gave a girl that didn't live with them an allowance to date them. Never. I guess it exists, but I've never met them. Now, it's possible that I just didn't meet them, but I just don't see it. Why are you giving them an allowance? Now, there's an exception to that. And the exception is are you giving them an allowance to accomplish something? And that means, are you giving them an allowance to further their education? Are you giving them an allowance to create something? That might be a different story. But in general, a living allowance, and they're not even living with you, you're just dating? No, I don't see it. I really and truly do not. I can see being generous, meals, things like that, occasional gifts, things like that, but no. Now, let's take it a step further before you condemn that. Let's say you're dating somebody, and in the course of dating them, they move in. Now, this is where we start to see a problem, and where we start to see a problem in dating as well. With the age gap issues that inherently happen, okay? I don't know any single expats that said, I'm going to the Philippines and I'm not even going to date. Okay? They're all dating. Are they moving girls in? Not necessarily, that's for sure. But with the age gap deal, so you're 50 plus and they're low 20s. That's a 30-year age gap. And in that 30-year age gap, you've decided that they're going to live with you. And because you're 50 and because you're a foreigner and because you want to travel, you're like, you know what, Susie? Hey, why don't you quit your job that doesn't pay hardly anything so you can spend more time with me? Okay? Then, yes, I certainly see an allowance. I see an allowance that is at least, at a minimum, equal to whatever she was working and getting. Because you're asking her to walk away from that. Okay? And in turn, you're going to say, some people say, well, hold on. No, you know what? I'm supplying a roof over her head, clothes, food, trips. That's what you choose. That's your decision. All right. You're asking her, in addition to what you are giving her, you're asking her to quit her source of income. I can't see it. I really can't. I think she is entitled to something. That's for sure. In my opinion, it would be at least what she was making. All right, and that's after you unwind her from her current leased living arrangements. Now, she may have been living with her parents, family, for all you know, or 5 roommates or whatever. But she's got to, you've got to keep in mind, that's got to be wound out or wound down. All right, so now let's just say you marry her. I mean, who gives their wife an allowance? Well, Filipinos are kind of weird. I'm going to tell you something. Arlene, my wife, she's strange. When I say it's our money, Arlene just doesn't see it like that. And many Filipinos do not. I was speaking in the past. I've spoken to the wife of another expat, and she just does not see his money as being part of hers. And many of you may say, hey, that's right, that's my money. Well, you know something? Here we have a source of income every month, and it's our money. It's what we use to live off of, okay? And, it's like Arlene would go get, a hair color, a haircut, her nails done. Oh, honey, you need, no, that's your money. I'll use mine. Does Arlene, my wife, get an allowance? Hell yeah, she gets an allowance. And I pay for everything on top of that. But you know what's funny? When it comes time for her SSS, when it comes time for her PhilHealth, when it comes time for all kinds of stuff, she will denote that as personal. Where does that money come from? Of course, it comes out of our money. But a portion of what is our money is cash I give her. She puts in her bank account, and she saves some too, trust me. Okay? So should they get an allowance? Yes, they should get an allowance. They absolutely should. I mean, we've talked before about building a legacy, providing for when you pass away for your Filipina. That's been a discussion we've had before. And in the comments below, if you'll tell us, hey, you know what, Mike, I'd like for you to go through that again, I'll do another video on why it's important to do it and some of the possible solutions that you may have. But in turn, if you've never met the girl, an allowance is just, I think, not the way it works. If you're dating somebody, they're not living with you, I think you can be generous, but I don't think an allowance, a routine allowance, until you step up to that point, whether you marry them or just move them in, and you say, I want you full time. I want your attention all the time. I want you to be a part of me. I think, number one, that's a mistake, but that's what most people do. And I'll tell you why it's a mistake. And number two, at that point, yes, an allowance is indeed part of it. Why is it a mistake? It's a mistake to say, I want you all of the time. All right? What you want is her future. If you really care for this person, you've got her future in mind as well. Educate her. Sure. Even an educated Filipina here doesn't make much money, but every little bit helps. And on top of that, prepare her. Prepare her all you can in how to handle money, how to take care of money, what she's going to do with money when you're gone. All right, there's a whole list of how to take care of this. And in the comments below, let me know. I'll repeat that entire updated blog, because with the economy being where it is lately, it does need an update. Otherwise, look, we know some people are going to disagree. Okay? I will tell you the one thing, the last thing, the most important thing that I think is critical here. And that is, do not do the carrot and stick. That is not the way it works. Do not sit down and say, it's my money, but in order for you to get some, you have to do X, Y, Z or B, X, Y, Z or whatever. Or the stick is you don't get any money. Don't be a jerk. All right? If that's the way you're going to be, you don't need to be in a relationship with that woman. She does not intrigue you enough. All right? Be generous from your heart and be understanding and accept the fact it's different in this country. Hey, look, your opinions. What do you think? All right? That's what's really important. What do you think? What's your experience been? Put them in below. Otherwise, thank you and have a great day.